Hello guys, what's going on? I'm here for some reason. Actually, I know exactly why I'm here, but anyhow, um, I'm sorry. I am going to be very busy through the month of June. I've mentioned this before. A lot of stuff where I won't have internet access for extended periods of time, which means you probably won't see much of any content this month. And when you do, it'll be times like this where I don't have that much time to create content, so it's gonna have to be pretty rushed and not very well put together, just whatever I can shove together in the few minutes I have to make some content for you guys. But today I wanted to talk about, to have some videos talking about the WWDC keynote address from Apple, where they talked about new software updates for their products coming out in later this year. And I wanted to talk about good old, if I can even put it on the camera, WatchOS, because the watch is actually probably the device I use the most, other than my Switch, but that's a different topic for another time. The watch I use a heck of a lot, all the time. Probably more than my phone, actually, because it's much easier to just do something on the watch than trying to get your phone out of your pocket. First thing they announced was activity competitions, which is an interesting concept that would sound fun if you actually had someone to do it with, but I don't really. No one I know is going to really want to do an activity competition. I don't even know if I want to. But anyhow, the basic concept is you can challenge one of your friends or somebody that also has an Apple Watch to an activity competition for 7 days, where basically you score points. There's a point system from earning percentages toward your rings, and you try to score more points than them in 7 days to win the competition. I think it's an interesting concept. I think it would work really well, again, if you had somebody to do it with. I just don't, so... And I know a lot of you probably don't, but if any of you have anybody that you will think you'd be able to have a competition with the Apple Watch fitness thing, there you go, you can, and it looks like it'd be very, very fun to do. So I'm interested to hear from you guys whether you think that would be a fun idea. So the other thing they did related to fitness is they got two new workout types of workouts added to the workout app. First, there's yoga, which I'm definitely not a yoga person, so But there's also they added hiking, which is awesome because I hike a lot, or not a lot. I do hike, not as much as I swim, but I do hike quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. Whenever I hiked, I always just put it as an outdoor walk. I didn't really know there was a difference in the way it tracks it, but somehow there is a difference that tracks hiking differently. So I assume that's like varying elevation, like trail hiking. So if you're ever doing that, you can do the hiking workout now, which is pretty cool. Also related to workout, if you forget to start a workout, it's actually going to remind you and tell you to start your workout if you've forgotten to do that, which is awesome because a lot of times I will just start doing something and forget to start the workout. It's not going to just touch my watch and start it, and I don't really have to worry about did I start it or not. It'll just tell me to do it. It also does the same thing when you're done. When you finish your workout, it'll be like, hey, you're done, so click done, that's nice. The only thing I'm concerned about that is it being oversensitive. Like if I start briskly walking to class at school, it's going to tell me to start a workout. Or if I just stop to take a break from running to breathe for a second, it'll tell me to stop my workout. So yeah, we'll see exactly how that works out. Oh yeah, and there's also a walkie-talkie, so that's an interesting little thing that exists. It's basically kind of like an informal calling conversation type thing. Basically, you request to be able to use walkie-talkie with someone, and they have to accept you first. Basically, you can just tap and hold talk on the watch and talk like, "Hey, how are you today?" And then it'll just beep. Their watch will beep and automatically play the message without them having to click anything. It just plays it by itself. So it basically works exactly like a walkie-talkie, except with the watches, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know that many people that actually have an Apple Watch, but I know enough that I can probably add them into the walkie-talkie and just screw around with them, and that would be pretty fun to do, actually. So, I mean, that's a thing. I feel like the walkie-talkie is going to be less for practical communication and more for screwing around, but hey, it's there if you do want to screw around with it. Jumping back to the workouts thing here, I forgot to mention, there's also a few new thingamajiggers on the running workout. You can now set an average pace goal for yourself, and it's going to let you know if you're below that pace. So that's good if you want to keep yourself moving fast. If I'm running, I'm usually just doing it casually, so I don't really need to set a pace goal. But if you're training for something, You can set a pace goal, and that's a really good option for you, I suppose. There's also the cadence with the number of steps that you've taken per minute displayed there. But again, not a huge runner. I don't really care about the cadence, or I wouldn't really know what that meant or how to interpret it or anything like that. But again, it is there if that's something that you would like to use. Another interesting thing they're doing is they're adding a new app. They're adding the podcast app to watch, which, I mean, that's cool. I have another floating ball in my galaxy on my watch, but it's also, I mean, not really something I'll ever use. I know it just sounds like I'm dissing all these features, and trust me, I'm not. Some of them sound pretty cool, but podcasts, I really never listen to anything on my watch. If I'm going to listen to something, I'll just plug headphones into my phone. I don't have any Bluetooth earbuds or headphones or anything like that to connect to the watch, so and just plug everything into my phone. So, I mean, that's cool if you do. They were talking about listening to podcasts while you're running. I could see that would be pretty cool to do. It's just not something that I would do since I don't have any Bluetooth thingamajiggers just stick in my ears. But hey, it's cool. Like I've said, for all these other features, it exists. We are finally getting updated notifications on the watch, so that's good, because if you have an Apple Watch now, you know that the notification system on this thing at the current state is an absolute mess. So they're one thing they're doing that I like the most is they're stacking notifications of the same type together. So say you're in a texting conversation and you get 10 billion texts from one person, they'll all group together only over one stack of notifications instead of filling up the entire notification center with little individual notifications that take up your whole screen each for every message that was being sent to you, which is great because that notification center on the watch, with how tiny the screen is and how big the actual notifications are, it fills up so fast and it's so hard to scroll through and read through sometimes. So I'm glad that they're stacking the apps to kind of solve that problem. Another thing is they're having a lot richer interactive notifications, which I thought the actual interactability with the notifications is fine as is, but it never hurts to keep improving now, does it? So from the keynote, it looked like they're a little bit more colorful, and developers can customize them a bit more, and they're also interactive. You can do things like Yelp. You can change your reservation a bit, or I actually don't remember anything else offhand. But there was some pretty cool stuff that you can do straight from the notification without having to launch any sort of app or anything like that, which is, it's cool. So yeah, that's that. Thank the Lord, they're finally fixing up notifications a little bit. Oh, and another thing they talked about quite a bit for some reason is the ability to save your student ID pass cards into wallet and use them from your watch. I'm not quite to the college level yet, but I can tell that by the time I get there, it'll probably be pretty useful to have my student ID cards into my watch, and that I can just go. They said you can just go scan into your room and unlock the door, scan into the library, scan to if you're at the cafeteria, scan to charge your meal for the day or whatever, or you can even use Apple Pay at other restaurants on campus. So that would be really, really useful to have everything campus-wise right on your watch. You can just walk up everywhere across your campus and just beep, 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 beep. We're all done here. I just got to tap my watch and we're all good. So that's actually a really, really useful feature that I won't be able to use right away. But when I eventually get to the point that will be useful, hopefully it's a bit perfected more by then. There's only 4 colleges that are supporting it this year. So hopefully by the time I get there, there'll be a lot more colleges supporting it, and it'll be a pretty solid system, and hopefully it works pretty well, because it sounds like a really cool concept that I think could work really well. And really that's about it. There's a lot of new concepts they're introducing here, some stuff that seems pretty out there that they're just kind of trying out here. That's what I feel like most of this WWDC thingy was there's a lot of not very many ideas, but they are all kind of out there. Kind of let's throw it out and see how well it works in the real world kind of concepts. So I think that's really cool. I always like to see stuff like that where they're trying something incredibly new. So that's awesome. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you would like to see more content like this in the future about this kind of stuff instead of my usual Nintendo gaming stuff, because I'd like to keep branching out a little bit in this variety world of whatever the heck I want to do on this channel. And also, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss live streams, videos, things like that, because it seems like there's always at least one person that's upset that they missed my live streams. And I just tell them, turn on your notifications and you won't miss them. But anyhow, that's about it. See you later.